This is the most that we had today. I know that a few people, like the brother and the wife, could not make it today, and some other people are supposed to be here. But I want us to invite people so that it doesn't matter who comes or who doesn't. In this place, usually really full. And we all have people that we can invite. There's a brother, you have a sister, a friend, a neighbor, just somebody who you can, yeah, you can click on it. Yeah, you can click on it to go live. Have you? It's live already. Oh. Okay, so there's somebody who you can invite. Bookie, can you get the mic? I forgot to. You not to insert the mic in the no, the lapel mic. So if you give me yeah, so you insert that under the and then you put it on. You press on it till it comes up. You see. Okay. So there's always somebody we can invite. Where do I put this now? So there is always somebody that you can invite, right? So I want us to invite people for next level on second Saturday of September. Can we make a commitment to do that? Yeah? At least if everybody here brings one person, that's really good. Just one person. And just like I told Book earlier today, you don't start inviting people 2 days. No, you, in fact, after today, you start already telling them, okay, there's a program I want to come for next month. So they have it in mind and then they can plan for it. Okay? All right. So we have been speaking on the dialects of love, and we have said that we started from love languages, right? To say love languages is simply, or love language is simply how we understand love, and ultimately how we also express it. And then we now I have said that love dialect is now the specificities of the love language. Now how the methodologies, um, the details of now how we express the love languages or our love language. And we talked about words of affirmation as a love dialect and as a love language rather, and spoke about dialects of words of affirmation like encouraging words, kind words, appreciation or appreciative words, compliments, humble words. We talked about the difference between request and demand, for example. And then we gave some practicals on how to do that. And then we spoke about quality time as a love language and the dialects of quality time. We spoke about togetherness as against proximity, quality conversations, quality activities, attention, emphatic listening, learning to talk. Yeah, I think it was really, really good, right? If you were here, that was last month. Okay, and also were you here? No, we have different sets of people today from last month. So that's what we're saying. If everybody comes at the same time, you know. So we spoke about all of that, and I think it's really, really good. If the recording is on YouTube, I think you should listen to it. I think so. So we now spoke about quality conversations, and we spoke about things like listen to understand, not to reply, maintain eye contact when your partner is talking, give them full attention, listen for feelings, what emotion is my partner feeling right now, refrain from and summarize what he or she has said to be sure you listen properly, observe body language, refuse to interrupt, and then we gave practicals. So today, I want us to speak on receiving gifts as a love language. But then we want to talk about the dialects of receiving gifts, the specificities of receiving gifts. We have said that receiving gifts is one of the ways people understand love and also how they communicate love, how they understand love, and how they communicate love. That is when they get gifts, when gifts are given to them. Yeah. And one of the things, of course, let me not go ahead of myself. But so that's how people understand love. So, what are then the dialects? What are the dialects? The specificities of receiving gifts or giving in a relationship. I remember that it could be friendship, it could be intimate relationship, it could be marriage, it could be any kind of relationship. And we should be restrict speaking love people's love languages to intimate relationships. We could speak the love languages of our friends, of our parents. And if you observe your parents, you realize that they have a love language. Sometimes you don't even know about it. Yeah, yeah. For example, my mom, one of my mom's love language, very strong, is act of service. Like act of service. For you to do things for her, she likes it. When you do things for her, she feels really excited and what have you. And it pains her, you cannot help her to do certain things. You see, so you can study it. Sometimes it's quality time. Like my mom too. I think she likes quality time because every time she's always asking me to come. And when I come, she doesn't want me to go. You say I just even if I stay for 2 days, you say 2 days not enough that you still. I say mommy, I have other things to do. So if you study our parents, you realize they have love language. And when you see that, you give it to them as much as possible so that they feel love. The same thing with our siblings. They all have love languages. Study them, you will see it. You will see that, okay, when I do this person appreciates it more than when I do other things. That's how you paint people's love. Oh, I realize that, okay, when I say certain things, this person feels elated. They smile, they grin from chin to chin. It just feels special. You discover that, okay, maybe their love language is words of affirmation. Yeah. So one of the dialects of receiving gifts is the gift of yourself. The gift of yourself. That's presence over presence. Presence over presence. To say that when people have a love language of receiving gifts, sometimes the best gift you can give to them is the gift of being available, the gift of being there for them. Yeah. When people tell you, when someone who has a love language tells you, I will really need you to be around on social days, especially days that are critical or situations that are critical for them, like maybe they're in a hospital or they're trying to achieve something or try to do a project, and they tell you, I really would like you to be around. I think it's important to take it very seriously because that's an opportunity to score a point, and to make some deposits in their love bank account. Remember, we've talked about love bank accounts, we've talked about love tanks, right? Love deposits, love withdrawals. You see, when they are really need to be around, please make out time to be around because there is something called the gift of your presence that is critical and very important for them at that particular time. Yeah. So because sometimes presence can be more important than presence. Yeah. And if you're raising a child, for example, you're a parent of any sort, you're a guardian, it's important to understand this because your presence in raising your children is more important than your presence. What you give them materially is not as important as what you give them emotionally. Yeah, so and there is nothing that contributes to the emotional maturity and development of a child than being available, that they are seeing you. You would rather be broke and be available than be rich and be unavailable. None of them is good, though. That's the truth. They're not deceive you. Being broke and raising a child is not good. Being unavailable is not good. But if you have to choose one, choose being broke and available than being rich and unavailable. You will regret your life. I'm telling you the truth. Because of the privileges of even having access to resources, those children will now they will disgrace you at a very large scale because they have resources to disgrace you at that scale. If you are broke and unavailable, at least you it can be minimized. But they will disgrace you so they can afford certain drugs, certain lifestyles, certain things. So your presence in raising your children is very, 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 very important. Yeah. And that must translate from your presence even in your marital life with your spouse, as a married person. Because one of the best things you can give your children is to love their mom or their dad well. That's one of the best gifts. Because if you love your spouse well, your children will take cues from it. It is it is said that children who grew up in dysfunctional homes also grew up to create dysfunctional homes or to build dysfunctional homes. Why? Because that's what they saw. They saw dysfunctionality. So it is only normal and expected for them to create dysfunctionality. Yeah. So the best way you can help them is to love their mom, love their dad well, so that they can also have enough resources to fall back to when they also need to do that to their parents. Does that make sense? Yeah. So your presence is very critical in communicating the gift of the love language of receiving gifts, the dialect. Yeah, it's a dialect of presence. In fact, I read somewhere, and this is an extreme, where a lady said, she was talking to a counselor. She said, "My husband doesn't love me." No, no, that's not how she put it. Sorry. She said, "My husband loves football more than he loves me." Yeah, yeah. My husband loves football more than he loves me. And the counselor said, why did you say so? And she said that when we gave birth to our child, my husband, after I finished giving birth, left me and went to play football. Okay? So the counselor asked her, is that the only time, or is that the only incident you are basing this conclusion on? She said, no. That when my mom also died, after the burial, my husband went to play football. So the person now said, okay, so that means my husband doesn't love me, right? So because sometimes when people say, no, that means my husband loves football rather more than he loves me. So for her, and my husband loves me, but if you put football and me, I think he will choose football. But then the counselor now sent for the husband and asked her and said, this is what your wife said. And the man said, did you ask her? Or he said, ask her, sir. He said, I when she was in labor, I was there all through for about 6 hours before she gave birth. After she gave birth, I have been stressed already. And I needed to go and tell my boys that, oh, my have given birth. So I just used the opportunity to go and play football and also communicate to my guys that, oh, my wife has given birth and all of that. Then the other time when her mom died as well, I was with the mom. In fact, he said that I took about 2 weeks leave to stay with the mom in the hospital before she died. After she died, I was there in the funeral. I stayed all through the funeral, and I only left after the funeral because the dead is dead already. What can we do? I stayed the funeral, the finished funeral before I went to play football. You know, of course, when I read, I was like, this woman was being unreasonable. Come on, this guy strike. It's not bad. It's not that bad. But now realize that she was speaking from her. She was not speaking logically. She was speaking emotionally because her love language was receiving it, and the gift of his presence were unavailable on those 2 times. You see? Yeah. So he was educated to say, okay, fine. And of course, he was also educated because education is needed for 2 people, those 2 of them at that time. To understand that it's not that your husband doesn't love you, he loves you, and this is for where it was coming from. I know your wife, this is important to her. So it's important to her, it's important to try to do it, because when you do that, you are helping yourself at the end of the day because you have more peace. A happy wife, a happy life. Yeah. Eh? So that is a gift of yourself, presence over presence. Then number 2, dialect is thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness. This is what gifts actually communicates to receiver. When you give gifts to people, the major thing it communicates is thoughtfulness. Yeah. Because before you buy anything for anybody, you must first think about them. Troubles. Yeah. You must first think about, this is the only love language where, of course, there are others you have to, but this is the only love language where before before you speak it, you have to think first. You have to think about it. Okay, let me buy this thing for this person. Well, I think this would look nice on him or her. Oh, she likes apples, so let me get apples for her or for him, as the case may be. So thoughtfulness is what communicates, is what the gifts communicate. So when you give things to people, it communicates thoughtfulness. It communicates, I'm thinking about you. That's why even the Bible says the gift of a room for him, and he brings him before great men. You see, because I like the way Gary Chapman puts it. He says gifts are a visual symbol of love. Gifts are visual symbols of love. When you give people things, it's something they can see and something they can touch. Yeah. So the gift, so when he says the gift of a man makes room for him, the gift is talking about there is not potential, it's not talent. No, like some people put it, like, oh, your potential and your gift, your talent will make room for you. No, the context of that scripture was gifts, like material gifts that you give to people. The gift of a man makes room for him, and those gifts will bring him before great men. Yeah, because when you give people things, you put yourself in a special place in your heart. And that's why one of the best ways to stand out, even in your workplace, is to give your boss. When you give your boss, when you give people who are superior to you, you put yourself in a special place in your heart. And it is I know this thinking is very common in Africa, where you think that people who are rich don't need to be gifted. That's a very wrong mindset. To say because somebody is richer than me, I cannot give him. So it's only people who are richer than others that should give. No, that's a very wrong mindset. It doesn't matter where you are, you should give upwards, you should give sideways, you should give downwards. You should give what? Upwards, sideways, downwards. People who are above you, people who are your equals, people who are beneath you. It should be a lifestyle you practice regularly, where you are always giving upwards, sideways, and downwards. Yeah, because people have this mindset. It's even a more reason why people who are rich appreciate gifts more, because very few people give them. Very few people give them. Very few people, because people are not. When somebody are not thinking, somebody who's rich is having a birthday, just feel like, what can I give? Because sometimes it's a dilemma. Yeah, I wonder, what can I give this person now? What can I give them? They seem to have everything, but that's not true. Not true. Yeah, and even if they have everything, if I let me give you a hack. Many times, people who are rich and wealthy, they don't have, or they sometimes need the littlest, minutest, and what you might consider insignificant things, because that's not what they are thinking about. They might have cars, they might have houses, properties, but you might just be surprised that he doesn't have enough boxers, because that's not what is on his mind. He's not thinking about boxers. You might be surprised that he doesn't have enough on the inner wears. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's what you may be able to afford in that sense. That's what you may be able to afford. So it's important um, to understand that thoughtfulness is a love dialect, and that's what even gifting communicates. It communicates that, okay, I'm thinking about you. Yeah, so it's a hack. It's a hack for people who seem to be above you. When you give them things, and in fact, let me tell you, when you give people things who are your superiors, when opportunities come, you will be the first person they think about. You'll be the first person. Here's the thing about it. If somebody has been, you have many people who are around you, many people who are working with you, and one person is always gifting you. From time to time, they get some, no matter how small. Says, I just bought this for you. I sent you ahead time, sir. Just manage it. I know I don't have so much. When an opportunity comes, let's say everybody operates the same way. Everybody works hard. When opportunities come, who would you recommend? It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Sometimes it's not like it's not. It's just your heart to be drawn towards that person because that's the person who gives you. So the person has created a special place in your heart, and in scripture, like I said, the gift of a man makes room for him, and he brings him before great men. Thoughtfulness. Then another the dialect of love is intentionality and consistency. Intentionality and consistency. Yeah, you have to really be intentional to give to things. Particularly if gift does not come natural for you. You have to be intentional. You have to intentionally think about it and maybe we'll plan towards it. Yeah. If not, you'll be very stingy. That's the truth. If not, you'll be very stingy. If not, you'll be just somebody. There are people who always want to receive. They never give. They always want to be the receivers. 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 They are they have positioned themselves as the less privileged. I never want to see myself as a less privileged. Never. Even when I did not have, I've never seen myself as a less privileged. I've never seen myself as I'm here. People should come and be helping me. People should just be giving to me. Oh, some people will not be the way they'll be doing and be talking. So I'll be paying for them and be giving them. That's why you remain at that level. Yeah. And it's okay for people to help you, right? But what I'm saying is you must be intentional to also be a giver. Don't always be on the receiving end. If you are in any kind of relationship, always ask yourself, what am I giving? What am I giving as well? What am I giving? When I say what am I giving, not or not some people say, okay, I'm not giving. What are you giving materially too? What are you giving materially? Materially. Allow me to speak another English. Materially. What are you giving materially? What are you giving as well? Don't say I'm bringing emotional support. I'm bringing. What are you giving materially? You must do it as well. Like I said, it's not about how much you have. It's the heart. It's the heart. Yeah, it's the heart. You know, I was talking about this on Sunday. How that a lot of the times, even in church, just realize that if you're not careful, you're not even giving. You'll not be giving. You just feel like everything. You can even be attending a church that's rich and think that this people because they have everything. What do I have? What should I give? Everything's in place. No, it's a heart. It's a heart position. It's about intentionality and also consistency. Because people who have a love language of receiving gifts, the consistency of the gift is more important to them than the size of the gift. Is it coming consistently? Or are you just gifting the person once a year on their birthday? That's the only time you give them. No, consistently. What it is. See, with intentionality, you realize that it is not hard to be consistent. When you are intentional, you become creative. When you are intentional, you become what? You become creative. You now realize that, okay, I don't have anything to do. I don't have what to buy right now. So what can I do? Yeah. It could just be that, okay, let me just get a greeting card of 1,000 naira and then write something inside of it. That's something. With intentionality, see if you have somebody around you, particularly your partner, whose love language is receiving gifts, you should think of getting them something at least once a month. The list. That's a list. At least every month. When it says something, like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be 1,000. It could be 100,000. Just what you can do at that time. They will appreciate it. Yeah. Because I've said it before that the size of the gift doesn't really matter. But it's a clause. Oh. It's a clause. Because sometimes people say the size of the gift doesn't matter. The size of the gift doesn't matter. The size of the gift doesn't matter. People now say that it doesn't matter. But the size of the gift doesn't matter. So they'll not be buying Bible every time. Say, I just want to express how much I love you. And buy pencil and eraser. I say, it doesn't matter. It just this is my token of my love. I lose her. It's a clause. The size of the gift doesn't matter, except it is consistently inconsistent with what the person can afford. You get it? Yeah. For example, you know that I earn 500k and I'm always giving you the 1k. It will matter. Hello? Yeah, at some point it will matter. Yes, if sometimes I give you the 1k, I can understand that, okay, this person at other times has given me more expensive gifts. But you can't be gift of 1k every time. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So at that time, it will matter to the person. When the person sees that you have consistently given them things that are inconsistent with what you can afford, with your earning power, it will not matter. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that yes, you won't be able to afford expensive gifts every time. In fact, you shouldn't. If you don't want to go bankrupt, you didn't come to this life to be giving gifts. Am I coming? You didn't come to this life to be giving gifts. So there are days, there are times where you go out of your way, stretch yourself to buy something for somebody you care about and you love. But at some other times, you know, okay, really, let me just do the bare minimum in that sense. Let me just do something just to show that I appreciate this person. And the person, truly, if they are not greedy and money mongers, we understand. Now, this is a voice note. Or this is a voice note. It's not yesterday to me. One of these men, the lady sent the guy a voice note. She said, I forgot this guy's name, but let's assume the guy's name is Chukudi. So Chukudi, they don't arrest me. He said, Chukudi, they don't arrest me. Oh, oh God, I'm already laughing. He said, Chukudi, they don't arrest me. Police said they'll carry me go prison. Say the iPhone 17 when you give me, na stolen, na stolen iPhone. Chukudi now responded. Say, you know, say there's the lady said, they say I be thief. Say I thief the iPhone. Chukudi now responded with the voice. I said, you don't be thief. You were put pressure on me to go buy iPhone 17. Where I want to see the money. I said, you never say anything. You be thief for you must tell them where you see the iPhone. Don't be making you. So you see, so it's important not to be greedy because in the bid to saying I want gifts. Then I want to make some important points here. And one of those points is gifts. I believe this is very, very important. Gifts are not gender centric. Gifts are not what? What I mean by that is gifts are not gender sensitive. So it's not only men that give gifts. Hello. Uh, I'm going to drum this into the ears and hearts of many ladies. But many ladies have become so inclined to receive that they can't even give anymore. So we tell you, but I'm giving you, I'm giving the man sex. Are you also receiving sex? I don't understand. Hello. Now this is in the context of if you are doing sex outside marriage, I don't support you. This is a context of marriage. Are we together? But you're also receiving sex. Say I'm giving, but you're also receiving sex. But sometimes some ladies talk like they don't enjoy sex. Like sex is only for the man. Sex was created for the man, and women were created to meet that need only for men. That's even a wrong mindset. Because even if you have that mindset in marriage as a woman, you will not also enjoy the benefits of sex. Because God created sex for both man and woman. So even women are supposed to enjoy sex. Am I communicating? Yeah. So stop making it look like sex is a man thing. Then money is a woman thing. That's why a lot of people look at sex is for men to enjoy, the money for women to enjoy. No. Money should be enjoyed by men and women. Sex should be enjoyed by men and women. Men are not money machines. Women are not sex objects. Yeah. Men are not sex objects. So it's important to understand and to know that gifts are not gender centric. So, ladies, what I'm trying to say is give gifts. Give what? Gifts. This week that we're entering, buy your man a gift. Buy your man a gift. Buy him something. Go to the market, get him something reasonable. Not boxer and singlet, please. I'm tired of boxer and singlet. The man has 15 boxers, you are still buying more boxers. What's the problem? this guy, this guy Fanta. I don't know if I'm going to know Fanta online. What's happening? What's happening? Oh God. What's happening? I have 17 boxers, 17 singlets. You are buying more singlets. Is there nothing else in the market to buy? Become more intentional. Become more thoughtful. There are other things that he needs. Buy for him. Who say you can't spend? Yeah, I'm telling you, you know, Valentine's Day, women are looking at men to buy them gifts. Mother's Day, they are looking for men to buy them gifts. Father's Day, they are looking for men to buy them gifts. International Day of the Woman, International Day of the Men. This, what is it? Eh? So please, gifts are not gender centric. Gifts are not gender sensitive. Everybody should be buying everybody gifts. Am I communicating? Yeah. Do you agree with me? Those women who are looking at me. Eh? You don't agree with me? You don't agree? Eh? Ah. Okay. Gifts are not gender centric. Yeah, you know. So it's important because sometimes, let me even tell you, let me even shock you. Because I interact a lot with couples and I do couples therapy, counseling and all of that. And sometimes, in fact, I was having a session with a couple one time. To a big couple, we were about to get married. So we're having a conversation, having a session and all of that. And in that session, I confirmed that the guy liked gifts, but he could not even communicate it. He could not communicate because you know why? It will make a man look weak when he says he likes gifts. Like his woman should be giving him. That's the kind of mentality we have created in Africa. That if a man says, I want, babe, buy me some, he looks somehow. Like, how can you be telling me to be buy? But because of that space, it was a safe space, he said it. And he likes it, but he doesn't know how to have told the fiancé. Just how many men are dying. A man likes shawarma, you're saying, I would like shawarma. I would like shawarma. A man likes pizza. I would like pizza. A man is using what's it called? Cream. You're saying, or what's the other one called? Organic cream. So why are you using organic cream? You're a man now. I don't understand it. You use aboniki. If it's Vaseline now, you say you're a man. Come on. Please. Then it's also important to understand, and I want to speak to savers and spenders because there are always two kinds of people when it comes to money. They are savers, they are spenders. They are savers, they are spenders. So savers are people who derive a lot of pleasure from saving and investing money. They like to keep money. They derive a lot of pleasure from it. That's what gives them fulfillment. When they spend money, they feel somehow, even for themselves. So it's not even about you. Even when that's why you see some people like that. They don't know how to spend even for themselves. So when they are in a relationship with you, it will also be difficult to spend for you because I'm not spending on myself. So why will I not spend on you? After all, it is love your neighbor as yourself. So I'm not spending for myself. How will I then spend on you? So those are savers. Yeah. And there are all the other people who are spenders. Those ones derive pleasure from spending. When they spend, they feel good about themselves. When they buy things, a lot of them do a lot of impulse buying. You see them when they buy something, they are so excited, they are so happy. I just bought this. They get a lot of pleasure. They derive a lot of pleasure from what they spend, what they get, what they. So for those ones in relationships, it's easy for them to buy things for their partners. Many times it's good to have one of both in a relationship, or to have. Sorry, am I saying? It's good to have both in a relationship. It's good to have a saver and a spender, so that the saver helps you not to spend all the money in your relationship. And the spender also helps you to loosen up a bit. But many times there will be conflict if people don't understand this. Because the saver will misunderstand the spender will misunderstand the saver. The saver will criticize the spender will criticize the saver. That you don't even give, you are so stingy. You don't now what? You don't take care of yourself, you don't take care of me. The saver will say, you too, any small thing, let's spend. Are you going to chop your future? So it's a balance. You see? Yeah. So you need to understand the one that you are, and then begin to lose. For example, I'm a saver. Yeah. People might not know. People might think I'm a spender. You know. But that's because I have intentionally worked on myself to now know that okay, you have to also enjoy yourself sometimes. And how you cannot come and kill yourself. Yeah. But before I used to save a lot. A lot. Yeah. I said, but at the time I was saving 50% of my income, 50%, half of any money I earn, half saved. Half. That's how much I used to save. You see? But I now told myself that you have to survive before you prosper. Survival comes before prosperity. Because if you die, people will eat that money. So at least and it's good to save. And I still say, but don't get twisted. But I've drawn the balance. You have to understand that balance for a saver. Then if I spend that too, you now start to understand that if I spend all this money, I don't have a future. I don't have a future. Just realize that you get to tomorrow. Nothing. You can't. You have worked for 25 years. You can't. There's nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. So it's a healthy balance. And when you bring this into relationship, like I said, the saver will find it difficult to buy gifts. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't even buy himself gifts. Yeah. There were times in my life where I said, I have money. Look at this. I've not bought myself maybe a trouser in like 1 year. But I've made money. Yeah. You see? But it's not intentionality to not understand that when you give the other person in a relationship, that's the greatest kind of investment that you can do. That is the greatest. Because it means that you are investing in your relationship. And if you say relationship is because a lot of people say, oh, my relationship is very important to me. If you say it's important to you, then you should invest in it. So see that like I'm investing in my relationship when you spend on the other person. You see? Yeah. And also, like I said, when the other person is happy, the relationship will thrive better. So have that mindset as somebody who may be a saver. Somebody who's a spender, like I said, it's easier for them to give because they spend, they derive joy from spending. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, like I said, um, Gary Chapman said, gifts are visual symbols of love. He also said something. He said, if you discover that your spouse's primary love language is receiving gifts, then perhaps you will understand that purchasing gifts for him or her is the best investment you can make. You are investing in your relationship and filling your partner's emotional love tank. And with a full love tank, he or she will likely reciprocate emotional love to you in a language you will understand. So let me just list a few practicals and then we will close. Number one, practicals of how to now apply the things we have said. Try a parade of gifts. Leave a box of candy for your spouse in the morning, yogurt candy if health is an issue. Have flowers delivered. I know in Africa we don't like. How many of us like so? And when we say this, sometimes it's an assumption because I've met ladies in Africa who like flowers. But I've never met a guy who likes flowers anyway. I've never met a guy who likes flowers. But I've met ladies who like flowers, who genuinely like flowers. You see, yeah. So in the afternoon, unless your spouse is allergic to flowers, give him a shirt in the evening. Okay, so let me say that again. Try a parade of gifts. Leave a box of candy for your spouse in the morning. Yogurt candy if health is an issue. Have flowers delivered in the afternoon. Then give him a shirt in the evening when your spouse asks what is going on. You respond, just trying to fill your love tank. Number two, let nature be your guide. The next time you take a walk through the neighborhood, keep your eyes open for a gift for your spouse. It may be a snack, a sweet, or even fruits. You may even attach special meaning to your natural gifts. For example, fruits can symbolize how fruitful your relationship has been and can be. A rose may remind you of the beauty you see in your spouse. Number three, discover the value of handmade originals. Make a gift for your spouse. This may require you to enroll in an art or crafts class. It's not so much to do for your spouse now, is it? Ceramics, smithing, painting, wood carving, etc. Your main purpose for enrolling is to make your spouse a gift. A handmade gift often becomes a family heirloom. Heirloom is like a tradition, that is left from one generation to the other. Number four, give your spouse a gift every day for 1 week. You can say, okay, this week I want to give my spouse something every day for 1 week. It can be their birthday week. Yeah, it can be their birthday. I heard, for example, Pastor Funke Aditumo, when her husband turned 60, said he give her husband 60 gifts. Yeah, this is a woman. So she gave her husband 60 gifts on his 60th birthday. Delivered 60 of them. So you can decide to say, okay, when and I think somebody has given me that kind of a gift before. Yeah, I think not exact, but so kind of a gift where the person said they wanted to meet a particular number of gifts, for my birthday, and gave me that. I think 2 people actually have done that one, and then did that, where they brought this, and then when I was saying, wow, this is so wonderful, another one came in again. I was like, oh wow, another one came in again, and like that. Mm-hmm. So give your spouse a gift every day for 1 week. It need not be a special week, but it might just be anyway. I promise you, it will become the week that was. If you are really energetic, you can make it the month that was. No, your spouse will not expect you to keep this for a lifetime. Definitely. It's not like it's something that you want to do every time, but it can be something try at least once in your lifetime. When you say, okay, this month I'm going to, and I've thought about it before, with somebody. I said, okay, what if I give this person their birthday is 25th. What if I give them 25 gifts? One gift every day. See that birthday. So I've thought about it before. I'm not excited anymore. Or maybe in the future I will. Number 5, keep a gift idea notebook. Every time you hear your spouse say, I really like that, or I would really like to have one of those, write it down in your notebook. Listen carefully. You will get quite a list, of course. This will serve as a guide when you get ready to select a gift. To prime the pump, you may look through a shopping catalog together. Yeah, and it sounds like a good idea, really. Because definitely, if you hang around people, they will always say, wow, I love this. It's so nice. Oh, wow. Just take note of these things. And when you're able to, it might not be immediately, but just once in a while. Yeah. And now what people get is look at what they need. Look at, okay, this person doesn't have this. I've not really seen this person. Then look at meeting that need. Number 6, help. I'm confused. If you really don't have a clue as to how to select a gift for your spouse, ask a friend or family member who knows your wife or husband well to help you. Most people enjoy making a friend happy by getting them a gift, especially if it is with your money. Right? Yeah. So ask a family, ask a friend, they will definitely give you an idea of what the person might like or what they might need. Number 7, offer the gift of presents. Say to your spouse, I want to offer the gift of my presence at any event or any occasion you would like this month. You tell me when, and I will make every effort to be there. Get ready. Be positive. Who knows? You may enjoy the symphony or the football game. Number 8, give your spouse a book and agree to read it yourself. Then offer to discuss together a chapter each week. Don't choose a book that you want him or her to read. Choose a book on a topic in which you know your spouse has an interest. Sex, football, needlework, money management, child rearing, religion, or backpacking. Yeah, and then number 9, give a lasting tribute. Give a substantial gift to your spouse's church, or favorite charity in honor of her birthday, your anniversary, or another occasion. Ask the charity or church to send a card informing your spouse of what you have done. The church or charity will be excited, and so will your spouse. Yeah, consider the state of transformation church. Then finally, number 10, give a living gift. Purchase a plant tree or a live goat in honor of your spouse. I saw in the news this week of a mother who bought a goat for her child's sign out. It was so lovely. You brought live goat. It was so lovely. You may plant it in your own yard where you can water and nurture it, or in a public park or forest where others can see, also enjoy it. You will get credit for this one year after year. If it's an apple tree, you may live long enough to get an apple. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for receiving gifts. Next month we would talk about acts of service, the dialects of acts of service. Okay? That bless anybody? All right. Thank you very much. We have questions. This will be a good time to take those questions. If we have questions, or you don't maybe have something to say to everything that we have shared.